We're in a car-centric neighborhood here in the northeastern end of Toronto, here on Tapscott Road, just a couple blocks west of Nielsen Road. Actually, two because Nielsen is literally the next streetlight after this. And we are outside a neighborhood shopping mall called Malvern Town Centre. And surprisingly, it did not take me long at all to get here at 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's not bad at all. But today, I'm going to tell you a story about that time mall security guards right here at Malvern Town Centre partially violated my rights. And this is while I was casually filming a video for my channel. It turned into an argument with a citizen to security guards confronting me and partially violating my rights. Now, full disclosure, I hadn't realized my rights were partially violated until nearly a year after the incident, looking up about knowing your rights when dealing with law enforcement in Canada, and after binge watching these so-called First Amendment auditors I go to harass people for a living. Okay, I'll get to that later, but let's get into the story. So if you guys have been watching my videos for a few years, you may remember the off-camera incident which happened inside this mall at the dollar store. Is literally right so where that entrance is, and I'm actually reading this off a script here. This happened back on August 9th, 2022, and I did record video footage, not at the incident unfortunately, but after venting my frustrations. And that video has since been unlisted because, again, I was swearing so much. I was being very negative. You know me, I'm an expert at negativity. So as you know, I love malls and exploring them. Back then, I had many videos filmed inside shopping malls. I wanted to do one inside Malvern Town Centre, which is now on a chopping block and eventually being turned into a condo community. In fact, shortly after I visited this place, the McDonald's here closed down. You can kind of see right there. So I started my video, I think at was it that entrance? It might have been that entrance. Right next to the former McDonald's. I went inside the mall and casually just walked around as we're gonna kind of set foot here on this parking lot. And 6 minutes into the video, I went inside the dollar store, and just as I stopped, because I knew something was going on, it was making me nervous, and this is when this lady, she pretty much butted out of her fucking business so she can come and harass me, and she got argumentative with me because she thought I got her in the video. Now, you have no expectation of privacy in public. However, this took place inside a privately owned shopping mall open to the public. But there is the right and wrong of this incident, which I'll definitely get into shortly here. Now, after a heated exchange, which pretty much shook the entire freaking store, she forced me to delete the video, which I did, and I was kind of fine by that, because the video clip wasn't that great anyway. Now, that caught the attention of store staff and 2 mall security guards who were actually cordial but gave out disgusting and unlawful orders, which I'll get to in a minute. Anyway, I was really, angry, nervous. Look, this lady here is feeding all pigeons. What, is this the reenactment of Home Alone 2 in Central Park? Anyway, if there was a bench, I would have just sat down and I would show my face and stuff, but anyway, back to that. While that paranoid Karen was being dealt with, I calmly explained to one of the security guards that I was only making a video walking around the mall and that I did not mean to cause any trouble. Well, guess what? Firestarter Karen started it, so what gives? She escalated into a freaking confrontation, and it took about 3 minutes for the situation to be diffused. And security, again, they were thinking that I was taking her picture. They were mostly siding with her. But again, I calmly explained what the hell I was doing. I was not being argumentative towards them. And then this shit happens. So, this is the part where they partially violate my rights and did a few things that they never, ever should have done as security guards. So, they took my phone, went through my photo library and the recently deleted album to make sure that the video I took was gone. And it was, right? And as I said, the video wasn't that great anyway, so I was partially okay with it. But they didn't have the fucking right to force me to get rid of what I had. It was part of my own personal property, right? And again, we're living in a fucking society full of degenerates and weird-ass people that seem to give a crap or maybe not give a crap, but people are so, delusional. It's ridiculous. Anyway, one of them gave my phone back to me, and I can't remember the exact dialogue, but this is how this next bit went. They told me that I needed to get permission from management. I don't even know who the hell owns this place, if I want to continue. But this happens, and this is like the worst part of this incident. They asked for my ID, and I complied with them. I showed it to them, and then they unlawfully banned me from the whole fucking store. And the weird part about this is that this wasn't even an official trespass. I think TPS should have dealt with this because they're the ones that need to give out trespass orders, but not security guards. Okay, fine, I understand they might be trying to do their job and they can always call for backup, but this is not how you deal with the situation. Anyway, again, they said I was welcome to stay in the mall, but not in the store, which I think absolutely made no fucking sense. And at the time, I wasn't so serious about my rights. I mean, I could have been detained, but they let me go because I was being compliant and cordial with them. I then left the mall altogether, and while very pissed off, that's when I made the rant video, which is now unlisted. So again, it was just me walking around the mall, venting my frustrations, and just going... Oh yeah, I forgot, there's a parking lot at the back of this place. I could have just gone there and take it from there. In fact, let's just go back and see.
A few moments later.
Alright, back out here on Nielsen Road, and I came out of that entrance after the incident and started my video of me ranting around and just circling. Anyway, I've learned a little bit from the incident, but now we're going to discuss the rights and wrong of this interaction. Now, the security guards did have the right to stop me from what I was doing. Well, this took place at a store within a shopping mall that's open to the public. This was considered private property. Shopping malls and management have their own rules and regulation governing certain types of conduct. It's like, you're filming elevators, like I do within private buildings. In fact, I'm going to film a couple elevators inside this building after this. And, yeah, so if you're told by management and or security to stop filming or whatever it is you're doing, you must comply. They have the right to kick you off the property, but if you refuse their orders, you could be potentially trespassed. And this instance probably could have gone that way, but it kind of did in a very wrongful way. Now, this is when the security guards were in the wrong. They looked through my phone without my consent, asked for my ID, and somewhat trespassed me from the store and not the mall itself. Again, that does not make any sense. There was no crime being committed here, nor was I suspected of even committing a crime, so why the fuck did you have to do all that for? And also, another thing too, you're not the fucking police. They're the ones that, as I just mentioned, they have to write out actual trespass orders, not security guards. And again, I did not realize my rights were actually violated until months after the incident, where I've been looking up on how to deal with law enforcement, knowing your rights, because there's many people like me that are content creators and going to be filming in public and wherever, as well as even watching these jerk-off First Amendment auditors in the United States that pretend they're for the Constitution, but clearly they harass private These First Amendment auditors, they harass people that work in private buildings to get a reaction out of them for their views and likes. Sure, they might have exposed some bad police officers, But overall, they are low-life scumbags with nothing better to do. Again, we don't have the First Amendment, but the Constitution is outlined in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and Section 2 outlines that we can specifically do that. We have the right to film and record whatever. But in Canada here, the government pretty much gives a shit about what we do, and therefore they don't like us recording on federal property and stuff. But obviously this mall is not fucking federal property. And yes, there's a couple of these chartered auditors here in Canada, but they're not as arrogant as the Americans, but I really do not like their style of content, to be honest. Anyway, bottom line is, I was mostly in the right and a little in the wrong. While they did have the right to ask me to stop what I was doing, they absolutely had no fucking right to look for my phone, ask for my ID, and ban me from the store. These were all unlawful orders given by piece of shit security guards that were surprisingly cordial and not police officers. If I was so serious about my rights, I might have refused to provide them with answers. But bottom line is, I did not commit a fucking crime, and there's no reasonable suspicion to believe a fucking crime was even committed. Did they ban me because I was having a yelling match? I gotta go here because this guy is going into his car. Again, we'll just spin the camera around. Did they ban me because I was having a yelling match with a Karen, or because I was filming? Either way, this was out of line. And I also should have mentioned too, if I set foot back in that store, I would be unlawfully arrested. So, such fucking bullshit from this place, eh? Now, am I here to take action against this mall? No, because I feel like I have learned my lesson. This incident was a year and a half ago. And again, if I cared so much about my rights, I probably would have want to come back here and file complaints on the security guards and one of the staff members at the store. Even I could have pursued legal action against them. I made the 1 hour and 15-minute journey here to not only share my experience and expose this weak-ass management of a mall, but also, again, to film these elevators inside the building and maybe a couple of bus rides as well. Anyway, this interaction could have been worse. Much, much worse. Overall, it went well, and again, even though they had the right to prohibit me from what I was doing, that is not how you deal with citizens of the public. Not at all. And again, I think the good thing about this incident was that, again, I live very far away from here. There's absolutely no fucking reason for me to set foot in this dump of a mall again. It was definitely my first and last time coming here. And again, like, no offense to anyone that lives around here or goes to this mall. But anyway, my bottom line is, photography is not a crime. I'm on a public sidewalk. It's almost like I'm doing a chartered audit here. I'm auditing the shopping mall. I'm filming from a public sidewalk. But no, I'm not gonna set foot ever on this property again. Okay, well, I kind of did, because I did walk onto their parking lot, and I also might grab a slice of pizza from just around the corner from here. Anyway, so that's the story of how these security guards here partially violate my rights. Fuck this shopping mall. Fuck the management. I am never coming back here again. This is the worst shopping mall I have been to, and I will be very glad to see this shitty place being torn down and gutted. It is not a good place at all. If you're an outsider, or if you don't live in this area, or even in Scarborough, don't come here. They're gonna treat you like absolute shit. So, yeah. Hope you guys learned something from my story. I feel like I could be an advocate for public photography and stuff. But no, I am not gonna be an auditor ever. It's too dangerous. But listen. Bottom line is, we're now in public. We have the right to do whatever we want to do. Nothing can stop me. But again, if you're inside, then you know, it's different. This is why I do not film inside malls anymore. It's suspicious. It's technically not allowed. The only time I do that is if I'm filming elevators. Luckily there isn't one inside the mall, but I just go in, do my thing, and then I'm out. Simple. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned for more videos. Check out my arts as well. And remember, guys, photography is not a crime, especially here in the Great White North called Canada. Peace out, y'all.